All right, today it's time to get the corn planter out. We have some work to do on this thing, and before you know it, it's gonna be time to start planting corn. So I thought we better get a jump on this thing. We have our general maintenance to do to get ready for the season, but we also have those new markers to put on. So you guys saw when we picked them up a little while back, and I thought we better get going and figuring that out. So we're gonna get that out today. See if we can start into that. There's some brackets we need to cut off. We need to get the old markers off before we can start to put the new ones on. But we gotta get some things out of the way first here. So we're gonna try to hang this gate. The other day when we got those gates for the calves, we also got a new gate for the back stable because it's in bad shape. So we're gonna hang this gate quick and we'll see if we can get the corn planter out. So I was just gathering up the stuff we need to put this gate up, and I remembered that the hinge bracket that we bought to put this gate up, I cut apart by accident. I know you say by accident, but I had a momentary lapse in my thinking, and I thought, oh shoot, I ordered the wrong hinges for that gate project for the calves. And so I cut this hinge bracket apart, gonna use weld those hinges right to the post, but then I realized, no, I did have it planned out right, and so have to put it back together. But it's not a big deal, have it tacked together. We'll weld that real quick, then we'll go get back to getting the gate up. Almost out. This is our cold galvanizing stuff from Rust-Oleum. So it's not as good as the hot dip for sure, but it's probably better than just regular paint, I'm guessing. Okay, now we're all set. Got the hardware, got our latch and our hinge bracket. See if we can get this gate put up. So as you can see, this gate is in rough shape. We actually took another gate and tied it on there because we had some cattle get out because they busted it all up. So time for a new gate here. Some people probably say, oh, that looks like a farmer way of doing that. And you know what? I can't stand when people say that, because the reality is farmers know how to get stuff done and there's no waiting around. So if the gate is broken, we can't say, oh, well, we'll get one ordered and it'll come next week and we'll just stand here and twiddle our thumbs till it. Nope, you got to make it happen right away. So you got to find a gate, get some string. Not that we're not going to fix it up later, but you know, you got to make it happen right then. There's no waiting. Farmers have to be good at rolling with the punches. When things don't quite turn out like we thought, we have to figure out a new solution and we have to get it together and move on. If you want to be a farmer, you got to be a good figurer-outer. Didn't work out, got to figure out a new solution. Let's see if we can lift this guy off the hinges. Is it coming?
Yeah.
Get back, get back. Hey, hey, hey. It's like so windy right here.
Yeah.
It's freezing cold. These leftover nails here. Broke it off. That stinks. Now what?
What's happening?
It's like right in there. Oh man.
Are we gonna have to move it over or something?
We're gonna move it over a little bit. The gate looks good, but the post looks not good, so I guess we gotta fix that too. Everybody's very curious about the new latch. Okay, now back to the corn planter. Out of the wind. That was nasty back there. Deal is sometimes it starts and sometimes it doesn't. What's up, guys?
Crazy puppies.
tearing her apart. All right, so this is our super custom John Deere 7000 corn planter, and it's gonna get a little bit more custom today. So if you're paying attention, or if you've watched some of our other videos, you know that this is a 10-row planter, which is strange. This planter was originally an 8-row wide, and nobody plants 36-inch rows anymore, so we narrowed all the row units together to make 30-inch rows, and then we had a bunch of frames sticking out the end, so we added more row units on. So we have 2 extra row units, which made it a 10-row planter, which is kind of strange, but it's been working out for us, and we couldn't really see our way clear to spend 100 grand to plant 100 acres of corn. So this is what we got. We're gonna make it work, and it's gonna be awesome. So some of the work that we did already to this planter is we added a liquid fertilizer system. So these tanks, the brackets, the pumps and all that are not original in this planter, and that allowed us to do a liquid fertilizer application while we're planting. The other thing is we completely rebuilt this planter when we bought it. We bought it at an auction for super cheap, but needed a lot of work. So we rebuilt all the row units, and we're running precision meters, and so that's good. We just recently finished out adding the rest of our row cleaners. So we have Yetter row cleaners on all the row units. The hydraulic lift system on this planter is a little bit strange also. It's got this one big master cylinder that doesn't connect to anything. It just sits here and goes in and out. And what it does is it balances all the cylinders that raise and lower the wheels. But I guess maybe we're kind of overloading it. We've had to rebuild this thing a couple times. And the last time we actually had some parts custom machined to beef up the strength of this thing because we kept blowing out the end plate. So it's been working great ever since we did that. But we have a machined end plate. You can see this end plate is cast, but the other end is a solid steel machined end plate, which has been strong enough so far, and it's been working out pretty good. We also wired in our pump system to this mechanism, so when we raise and lower it, the pumps shut off and turn on. That way when we get to the end of the row and we lift the planter, the pumps automatically shut off and we stop the liquid fertilizer. Even though this is an old planter, it does have automatic markers, and so the markers automatically switched from left to right when you lift and go over and turn around and come back down. So when I get to the end of the row, we lift the planter up, the markers fold up, I turn around and come down, the opposite marker goes back down to mark the next row. So that works pretty slick, but these markers do not. They are a mess. You can see how tall they are, they stick out, and they're just old, they keep breaking. So we, you've seen us fuss with these things before, but we're gonna put these new markers on, and hopefully that settles our marker issues forever on this planter. Look at this marker. This is how we finished up the season last year. It almost broke through. So, it'd be nice to not have those issues anymore. We're gonna reuse these wheels. These wheels were new when we rebuilt this planter. So, we're gonna keep these guys. We'll put them on the new markers. Didn't it sound like the puppy said, hello?
Yeah, that's how.
Can you lift that a little bit? I think if we take this bolt out here, we can pound this pin out, then this whole thing will lift off. Can you just, will it lay on the ground? Yeah, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna go run the cylinder out, and then we can get that pin out of the cylinder.
Yeah, that's enough, I think.
You can just put that on the ground. Can you lift that in? Okay, we got all the markers off now. We just need to clean up all these brackets. So we're gonna take off all the old brackets from the old system and then get ready to weld on the new brackets. All right, I think we're gonna pack it up for today, but we got everything cleaned off. So we got all the old brackets off, we got the old marker hinges, pivots off, and the cylinder's loose. So I think we're ready to start going back together now. All right, it's the next day, and I think the next step will be try to get these brackets off so we can mount these to the planters first. So here's the markers. I'm gonna pull this bracket off, and then we can put that on the planter and get that all squared up, and then we'll bring the arms to it. So
Maybe it was a problem before and broke off and they fixed the one.
maybe. That thing is a beast. All right, well, that was a little bit more work than I had thought. The first one came apart pretty good, but the second one was fighting us, so had to call for backup. Earl came and gave me a hand. We got her apart, so now we can get back to the next. All right, so a little bit of change of plans. I thought we were gonna make new brackets because these old brackets were like a little bit egged out. Some of them are worse than others. That one's kind of bad. But anyway, I just realized that there's, on the old brackets, there's these little collars, they're still kind of hot, that give a lot more bearing surface for the pin. So I cut those collars off the old brackets, and we're gonna just weld them on to these new brackets. And that'll give us a lot more bearing surface, and maybe we can even put a little grease fitting in there or something. So anyway, that's the plan now. So we don't need new brackets and we don't need new steel. So we're gonna get the planter out again and see if we can clean up those spots and tack these brackets on. Almost forgot these guys. All right, well, we got this side all clamped in place, but it's looking like it could rain. So I think we're gonna try to pack things up here, get the planter put away before the rain comes. So I guess we're gonna call it for today. But we're making pretty good progress, not quite the progress that I had hoped for. I really wanted to show you this thing with the arm on it, but you'll just have to imagine for now, so. So if you're a corn planter guy, you're probably thinking 10 rows. That doesn't make any sense. And I know what you're thinking. The thing is, there's 8 row heads on combines and 12 row heads on combines, but no 10 row heads. So you're right that our planting never matches up with harvesting, because we either use an 8 row head or a 12 row head when they come into harvest. So that is one little problem that we have with a 10 row planter. But for all of our silage stuff, doesn't really matter. We come in with a Kemper head and it doesn't matter. It just eats it all up anyway. But you're right, a 10 row is not ideal for row harvesting. So like shelling, or even when you take off earlage, any header that needs to go down the row. But it just means that we need to be really careful when we plant, that we make sure we have good spacing, which is the reason why we need to have some good markers, and it doesn't work when our markers are busted. So hopefully this marker upgrade helps us out and we can do a good job with that. But yeah, 10 rows, I know, it's a little strange. All right, it's day 2 of working on the planter. I got the brackets all welded on, just, well, tacked in place, and this bracket put in place. And so I think we're ready to go to the other side. We're gonna get those brackets put on, and then we're gonna put these arms on. All right, we got these brackets all tacked in place, and the folding brackets are tacked in place. It's not an ideal for welding outside with MIG welding because it's kind of windy today. It's been really windy this spring, so it's not so awesome, but we got our tacked in place. And so I think we're ready to put the arms on. I've been so excited to do this, so let's get these arms on. All right, we did it. We got the arms on, and we just need to get the hydraulic lines hooked up yet, but I need to get a little bit of hose to finish hooking them up, and then we should be ready to go. We got to put the discs on the end, but otherwise I think these new markers pretty much ready to go. Pretty excited about that. All right, well, we'll keep working at it. Got a little bit more time before we got to get in the field and get planting. So that's it for now. See you guys.